Hello, and welcome to Piano Player Pro, your favourite classical tunes arranged for piano. Today we're going to be playing Flight of the Bumblebee by Rimsky-Korsakov. Rimsky-Korsakov was one of a famous group of 19th century Russian composers called the Mighty Handful, which also included the likes of Borodin and Mussorgsky. This is by far Rimsky-Korsakov's most famous tune. It was originally written as an orchestral interlude from his opera The Tale of the Tsar Sultan, during which the Tsar's son, Prince Gvidon, is turned into a bumblebee by a magical swan so that he can be reunited with his father, who believes him to be dead. It was famously transcribed for piano by fellow Russian composer Rachmaninoff, and since then, due to its sheer speed and complexity, virtuoso players of probably every instrument have attempted to play it, usually as fast as possible, although the best performances are never just about speed alone. If you haven't already, then follow the link below and head over to the website pianoplayerpro.com, where you can find the sheet music, which is free to download, and while you're there, make sure you check out the other pieces that you can learn. I'm regularly adding new pieces and content, so if you find this video helpful, then please hit the subscribe button below. In total, there are 4 piano arrangements of Flight of the Bumblebee for you to choose from, starting with level 1 for just the right hand and getting progressively more difficult all the way up to level 4. This video is for the level 3 version, but feel free to take a look at the others. So we're going to start by playing through the whole piece once, and then we're going to go back and look at it section by section. So here we are with Flight of the Bumblebee. Okay, so it's not an easy piece, especially for a level 3 version, but have a go at it and see how you get on. You can always look at the level 2 version as well if you're finding it quite challenging. The real key to learning this piece and being able to play it quickly is firstly being really careful at using the correct fingers. So think about which fingers you use and where you use them, and try and always use the same pattern of fingers, because a lot of the key to this is memorising the patterns of notes. Once you see the patterns and remember them, it's not so difficult to play it all the way through. But to help you remember the patterns, you use the same set of fingers each time. And the other key is going to be practicing it really, really slowly as you get going, and then only build up speed gradually. Don't try and play it really quickly and then get frustrated that you can't do it. So before we actually just start with playing through the introduction or the A section, I just want to talk about the chromatic scale. So the chromatic scale is the scale on the piano, and you've got like the major scale and the minor scale. But the chromatic scale is the one that uses all the notes, all the white notes, all the black notes. So if you're starting on C, the way you'd play it, the key is that you use your thumb and your middle finger. Okay, so your middle finger plays all the black notes, and then your thumb plays the white notes. You go thumb, 3, thumb, 3, thumb. Now here, because you've got 2 white notes in a row, this is where you use your second finger to fill in the gap. So let me show you that again. Thumb 3, thumb 3, thumb 2, 3, thumb 3, thumb 3, thumb 2, 3. So it's always that same pattern, okay? And once you've practiced that, so you can do that quite quickly, and you can go down as well. And learning that kind of basic principle will really help you, both generally with your kind of finger flexibility, but particularly playing this piece because it uses so much of the chromatic scale. Okay, with that said, let's look at the introduction. So the A section, it starts very high up on this E here, so just this is middle C. You'll see I've kind of shifted the whole keyboard up a bit so that you can see these kind of top notes here, because not a lot happens down much lower. So this is middle C, okay? So that's C above middle C, that's C above the treble clef, and this is 2 notes higher starting on E. And you're going to start with 4 and 3, and then you're going to do the same pattern on D and C sharp. So that's E and D sharp, and then. But to get that nice and smooth, rather than doing what I just did, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, because getting that leap, you're going to use your thumb, 3, 4, 3. So watch that again. 4, 3, 4, 3, thumb, 3, 4, 3. And then you've got 3 of these on the C and B, which you're going to use with these 2 fingers. Da, 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 da. And then you've got a very short gap, which you use to jump down. So watch these first kind of couple of bars. So once you've done those 2 bars, you jump down and you do the same thing an octave lower. So those 2 are exactly the same. Use the same fingers again, it just goes in quicker. Jump. And then you jump down again starting on your 4, but this time you're just going to go straight down the chromatic scale from E to C, back up, back down, back up. And then you arrive back on the E, which is the beginning of the next section, the B section. So. Okay, so the whole introduction or A section with the right hand goes like this. Skip. Skip. And there's the B section beginning. Okay, so that's how the right hand goes. The left hand part, for the introduction, it just plays these 2 notes. You're in the treble clef, so it's an E and a G sharp. And you bounce off those, and then you play exactly the same 2 notes, but an octave lower. So you've just got to move down like that. The challenge is, of course, moving down and finding the 2 new notes whilst you're still doing stuff with the right hand. So we'll put them together in a minute, but you just do that. And then the same thing here. And then it plays nothing else for the rest of the A section. The last bit, this, is just the right hand by itself. So together, here we go. Then both parts jump down together. Just the right hand, left hand not doing anything. Okay, so you've got 2 choices really. One choice is that you hold your right hand here, and then you get this idea of the 2 hands moving exactly the same distance, an octave, down at the same time. Move. So that's one way of doing it. The other way to do it, which I probably prefer, is that once this has done its note, it can start drifting down, and then you've got a little bit of time to adjust it whilst you're focusing on this hand. And it's ready, so then you just need to think about this hand moving rather than trying to get both moving at once, because you don't have time to check them in exactly the right position. So if you can, I would try and move the left hand a bit early. And that's the A section. Okay, so the B section, this is kind of like where the main tune starts. Look at the right hand again first. So you've got this main riff, which is so going down again like you just did this. You go down again, but then you reach up to the F, just above the E, back to the E, below the E, and then then you start the pattern again. So watch that, those 8 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the second half of the pattern, you just do what you've already done, which is go from the E down to the C, back up. So the first time you do it, you've got this jump to the F, and then you just go down and up. Okay, so together that's like this. And that's your kind of pattern for the first 2 bars of B. The next 2 bars exactly the same. Okay, so that should then run really smoothly without any gaps. Bar, and then you've got this little pattern here, so you're going to use the E and the D sharp. It looks quite complicated, but it's actually quite a simple pattern. It's the E and the D sharp, and you do that twice, 1, 2, 1, 2. Then the same kind of pattern, but on D and C sharp. Okay, so da 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 da. Then you go, keep your finger there on the C sharp, and you come down to the C. And I've written it now as a D flat, but it's the same note because you can do the same thing, but in the opposite direction, climbing up, 1, 2, 1, 2, move up, 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's kind of looks more logical on the keyboard almost than it does on the page. So this is how it goes: E and D sharp, D and C sharp, C and D flat, D and E flat. And then you just run that together without any gaps. And then you do what you've already done a few times, which is just go from the E down to the C, back up, and then to finish, you're just going to go E, D, E, D, E, or D sharp, E, D sharp, E, D sharp, E. So, down, da, 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 da. Stop, and you've got a quaver rest, which is a quick chance to jump to where you need to be for the next section. So just watch the second half of the B section. Okay, and that's how that fits together. So the B section starts, if you remember, with this pattern. Then that new bit. And just work out what fingering you want to use there. You might find something, you know, I've written some suggestions down for you, but you can always change it, but just write in what you change it to, just so you've got it written down. Okay, so that's how the B section goes with the right hand. The left hand, you've just got these two notes. It's mostly A, which you're going to play with your little finger, and then you jump up from A to E. Notice these notes are short. There's lots of rests in between. Then you repeat that pattern again. Then lots of A's. And then you just go A, C, and E, and E. And that last little bit, A, C, E, and E, is kind of mirroring what the right hand's doing. C together, E together, E together. So there's a kind of pattern there. The right hand's like a fancier version of the left hand part. So that's how the left hand goes all the way through. Let's just piece those things together slowly. So from the start, you've got this pattern. So it's mostly about the right hand, but you need to just know where the left hand kind of coincides. And when you get to the beginning of the second half of the pattern, then you've got those two notes. So that's when that second A comes down. A, E, A, E, then lots of repeated A's, then climbing up with the C together, E, and that's the A section. So let's just put that together a little bit quicker. Okay, and that's the B section, so that's how that fits. Once you've done that, you're then going to jump from there up to here for the D section. Okay, and this good news is a very, very similar pattern to the B section. Okay, so you've done the B section here, you're now on the C section. You can hear it's the same tune. So let's just look at it separately, but it's the same kind of pattern. You go down, and then you go up. Now before, when you went up to the F. This time, the note above is actually the B flat, so just be aware that it's a black note. And then you go down and up again. So that basic pattern is exactly the same shape. And then round again. And then this pattern where you're going A and G sharp, G and F sharp, F and G flat, G and A flat, and then down and up again, and then repeated. So it's exactly the same shape as you did here. Everything you did here, you just repeat up here on these notes. The only thing that's a little bit confusing is that you reach up to the B flat, not up to the white note. Okay, and then the left hand is similarly doing the same thing. So before it was on A, jumping up to E, now it's on D, D to A, D, D to A, lots of repeated Ds, and then climbing up with the F in the middle and the A, which again mirrors or copies what the right hand's doing. Okay, so let's put those two together. So this is from the C section. And that's how that fits. Okay, so let's just quickly put together the B section and the C section because they're both effectively playing the same thing. So here we go. How the B and C section go together. Just be aware when you jump up what fingers you want to jump onto. So I'm going to take that 4 and bring that up to there on the A, and then the little finger up to there on the D. Move. And then carry on. Okay, so now we're on to the D section. The D section's quite fun. And what you do with this, I'm going to actually look at the right hand and the left hand together. Normally I look at one first, then the other one, and then put them together once I kind of feel I've got the hang of them. But in this case, they kind of play off each other, so it's actually easiest to do it together, because what you're going to do, you're going to play a B here, and the B in the left hand is on the kind of off beat, so it goes right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. And you try and do that hand separately, it's really difficult to count. So let's just do them together. So B's in both hands, probably middle finger. You could use your thumb here. And then in the next bar, the left hand keeps on doing exactly what it was doing. In fact, that's all the left hand does all the way through the D section. But the right hand goes from the B to the two notes either side, which is the B flat and the C. Which is a bit of a clash, even more of a clash when you've got that B in, so it kind of creates this kind of buzzy sound. 1, 2, 3, 4, then the clash 4 times. Which doesn't sound very nice, but this is not particularly a tune that's supposed to sound nice. It's supposed to kind of create an effect, which it does amazingly well. So then you do the same thing again, another 4 times. Then you do the same thing again, but this time only twice each. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, and then to finish with bar 29, you do it another 4 times in the kind of split part before coming back to the B and going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So look at those last 2 bars of the D section. Okay, so that's how the pattern goes. You just kind of memorize it. So you do 4, another 4, 2, 2, and then that kind of finish. So here we go, 4 of them first, another 4, then 2s, 2s, stay on the C, B, 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 and that's the D section. The E section, you're going to do exactly the same pattern, but you're going to move everything up to where it was up here. So you've got your thumb there, you've got your middle finger probably here on the left-hand note, and again you start with 4, another 4, another 4, then you do it as 2s again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, another 4 on the higher one, which is the F, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that brings us to the last bar, which I'm going to look at in a minute. Let me just play the whole E section up to there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2s, stay on the F, and then to finish, you're just going to do this. You're going to go E, and then jump up with the right hand, and then jump down with the left hand. So, and that's how that finishes. Okay, so it's a bit of a tricky finish. So just be careful with that. You might want to practice those last 2 bars quite carefully a few times, because what you don't want to do is do the whole piece and then hit the wrong note at the bottom. So, okay, that's how that all fits. So let's look at the D and E section together. Here's the D section. Repeat. Now halves. Just 2. Stay on the C. B, 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 B. Same thing on the E. Another 4. Then 2s. Stay on the F. And then there's your finish. So that's how the whole piece goes. Let's put the whole thing through together once more. Before we do that, just a quick word about dynamics. You'll notice there's quite a few dynamics, and the dynamics are particularly important in this piece because it can create an effect. So it starts loud, then it gets quieter during the introduction, and it comes all the way down to pianissimo, the 2 Ps, when the actual tune starts. Okay. The other part of the dynamics to particularly notice, it gets a little bit louder then through the tune, the C section. When you get to the D section, you've got these swells in the second bar. So you do this, and that you kind of grow through the swells. Digga, 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 digga. Growing, and then back down. And then even louder. And then you've got that same effect with the swells. And then right at the end, just as you're getting as loud as you can, it ends with this really kind of cheeky ending, quiet as you possibly can at the end. So you kind of build up this big kind of clashy sound, and then it finishes really quietly. So let's play the whole thing through once more. I'm going to go a little bit quicker as it's the final performance. So here is the Flight of the Bumblebee. So that was the level 3 version of Rimsky-Korsakov's Flight of the Bumblebee. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it helpful. If you have, then please hit the subscribe button below, as there's new pieces for you to learn coming out all the time. And remember, the music for all of them is free to download from the website pianoplayerpro.com. If you've got any questions or requests for future pieces, then do get in touch via the comments section below. Have a great day then, and happy practicing.